API security, protecting your business in the API driven world. Before I start, I would like to highlight these two incident happened in one is in 2021. That is one single API exposed the personal data of overall almost 500 million users, and you might have heard about Facebook breach. And the second one about the 5 billion in fines and obstacles in business. So you can imagine the impact one single API can be around your business or of your organization. So it is really impactful that security means a lot. Little bit about myself. My name is Akansha. I have around 10 plus years of experience in security, majorly worked for application security, vulnerability assessment, pen testing, DevSecOps, and currently leading API security topic. Did few certification. I write articles over Medium. It's a free platform, so you can visit and read articles mainly focused on API security, of course. And in my free time, I do yoga, meditation, traveling, etc. And I live in a beautiful city, Amsterdam, and I'm from India. So let's start. So APIs are basically double-edged sword. Basically, they are fueling innovation, and I cannot say that they are not expanding the attack surfaces, because as far as we are moving, we are transforming our businesses and making it API driven. We are definitely putting it exposed towards attackers and making it available for them to get the information, to try to access some of the sensitive information, or maybe do some other attacks as well. In the Gartner prediction in 2022, they said that API abuses will be most frequent attack vectors, because as far as I'm aware, like many attacks are targeted through APIs, because we are not sure how many APIs we are using, which I'll cover later in my presentation. So they are leading towards data breaches for enterprise web applications. So the Gartner predicted in 2022, and here we are in 2025, and every day some or the other breach is happening because of APIs. So you can imagine the impact. Going forward, real world API breaches, I would say in 2019, we noticed, we got to know about Facebook breach, where millions of data were exposed just because of one functionality which was viewed as, and it was because of exposed APIs. Misconfigured API at consumer credit in Experian. This was a major unauthorized access was allowed because of one single API. So many data losses and big financial loss was also there. Next one is 2023. So this was also a major attack happened, and in which fraudulent transaction happened, and which compromise financial security of many users. So these were the impact, and these were the examples which were there, and this is the time we need to be really careful in our organization, and think about it when we are dealing with these APIs. So if I give you an example of topmost OWASP API security top 10, so these were the major hacks or attacks happened in last year. So first one that was most happened is BOLA, that is broken object level authorization. And it is very simple for an attacker. If you have a little bit of loophole in your APIs, then they can really get access to someone else's bank account, just manipulating a little bit of query parameter in your request, and then they will get into the system, basically the account. So it is very easy to do if you are not careful enough, and this is the most identified OWASP top 10 vulnerability. So these are basically known to us. We just need to be careful. We need to put our measures upfront to walk together with the attackers, think like them. Broken authentication was the next one, in which weak authentication, leaving like a front door open, just inviting attackers to allowing them to enter in your system and get the information whatever they want to. So this was the second known vulnerability identified, that this is already in the market, but still we are not secure enough to tackle or to provide a defensive layer for these vulnerabilities. Third one is excessive data exposure. So again, we are overly permitting API leaks with the sensitive information. So somehow, inadvertently, we are revealing these information. Maybe in URL, they are getting stored in the cookie, or they are just available in the open APIs, which are public, which are available for the usage. So we are leaving the doors open, and attackers are definitely leveraging these things. And the next one is lack of resource and the rate limiting. So without proper controls, attackers can flood your APIs with a lot of requests, and definitely denial of services can happen there. So these were the top four major vulnerabilities, known vulnerabilities, I would say, that we need to be aware of. So I have divided these OWAPs top 10. I tried to divide basically in which how can we start making our layered approach of security. So if I say these are the OWAPs top 10, which you can see on the screen, and if you see like how they are divided in the layers. So if I talk about business and application layer, definitely you need to restrict access of your sensitive business laws. So whatever business flow or whatever functionality is there, you need to uh, divide it how privileged the access has been given to particular user. Then, if I talk about data layer, so again, security misconfiguration, unsafe consumption of APIs. So, you need to define proper usage of these APIs developed in your organization or for the outside world as well. Then, the next layer is identity and access layer. So, if I see this layer, we have four known vulnerabilities already defined by OAPs, which has broken object level authorization, authentication, broken object property level authorization, and definitely broken functional level authorization. In which, if you give focus on this identity and access layer, you will cover these four known vulnerabilities, which are all about how you are giving access to these APIs, who can access this, what privileges they have, whether they are able to manipulate it to get the admin right. So these are the questions you need to think about when you are developing any API or giving access. And the next layer is network and service layer, where you will see how you are restricting the consumption of these resources, server side request forgery, and improper inventory management. So if you are not aware of the API's transactions or API's flows within your network, how you are going to secure it. So if you think about these four layers which I have defined and then categorize these known vulnerabilities, it would be easier for you to define what you are securing. So this will give you overall highlight, overall like a picture, like a helicopter view, that these are the known vulnerabilities. We need to fix first these, and then we can tackle about which are definitely unknown. So everyday security can't be 100%, of course. So these are the things which you need to take care, and it will help you defining the foundation of API security. So, how you can build a defensive layer, protecting your APIs definitely in a multi-layer strategy. You can't just do in one step. So it should be multi-step, and you need to define what are the steps you need to take from the scratch. So going forward, you can say that governance and insight is one thing where you will visualize what you have. So reporting, your enforcement, your like a kind of guardrail can play a vital role, and you will get the insight of your APIs. You need to get your inventory. So I think discovery can come into this part in which governance and insights are. Then you need to enable. How you can enable API security? You need to have the proper guidelines, you need to have training and awareness session for your developers, you need to have API security checklist and standard and policies. So these are the things, these are the steps you need to start as a multi steps, and then only you can build a layer defense, and then you can have a capability for API security. Then you can start the monitoring, you can do the continuous analysis of your APIs flows, how they are working, what they are working, whether they are deprecated, retired. So the flow would should be defined at the upfront, right? So this is the CI/CD pipeline, or you can say infinity loop, of course, where you can see how API security can start from design. Then you can say that whether you have keys, where they are stored, how they are stored, if they are encrypted or not, then how they are deployed. Then definitely DAST can play into picture, like dynamic application security testing can be done. So there you will identify what are the known vulnerabilities, and I think scanner can play a good role here. Automated testing you can implement. Then you have your inventory protection. So this is like an infinity loop, ongoing loop. You cannot just rely on one step and say that yes, we are secure enough. You need to do continuously progression in this infinity loop of security for having continuous monitoring, continuous protection. uh, all these things are like ongoing. Building your API security in a layer defense, I have three major aspects which can be covered. First is start with secure by design principle. So building security into your foundation when you are start developing. So for first give the mindset, give the awareness, give the training to all the developers. So secure by design principle, I would say it's a very first step, and it's a route where you need to be really careful that your roots are strong enough. Then only you can have a big building which you can say that it is secure enough. Integrate security testing in your development workflow, so which could help you catching all the vulnerabilities before they reach production. So you can have your test environment where you have automated testing, where you have developed the test cases and guardrail, and all those things are in the testing environment, so you will be aware of before you reach to the production. So it will give you an insight what you have, where you are lacking behind, if your access management is in place, if your discovery is in place, inventory is properly maintained or not. So at the end you can also have real time protection in your network, which could be in your production environment. There you could just do the monitoring, do the analysis. Logs are there, so you can just check those logs and see whether what is going wrong, what is happening, if everything is going well, legitimate users are there or not. If something happened, then you will be aware of. So this is the action plan which you can have. Start with secure by design principle, go with the integration of security testing, use automated tools, and then have a defensive approach with real time protection. So if I describe more about API discovery, so here I would say you cannot secure what you can see. So it is very important aspect that you know what you have in your organization. So API discovery is one thing where you need to emphasize more, because as an example, if I tell you one incident happened that they have thousands of unknown APIs, like they were not known, they were retired, maybe shadow APIs, rogue APIs, and then in the network routine analysis, they identified that yes, these are the 100 APIs which were not documented, which were not in the network flow. Because if there is some APIs and you are not, and they have like a certain flows, like you can do edit, delete, maybe update, and you are not updating like for 6 months, then it will be deprecated. So where that particular API went, so you need to be really careful while doing the network analysis, and what are the APIs which are not documented. So API discovery is very important aspect from attack surface. From when you think like a hacker, then you will realize that documentation is a very important phase which can't be skipped. And definitely if you don't know how many APIs you have, what you are dealing with, like you don't know what you are securing, so it is very important. You can definitely use the combination of techniques like network trafficking, monitoring, maybe leverage gateways to do the analysis. Use code scanning, that is also one thing which you can do, like just go to your repositories, check whatever the endpoints are there and document it. Make a proper list of these APIs. Proper documentation needs to be there, then you will be able to understand the landscape of these APIs. Going ahead, how you can do the real runtime protection, you're definitely a active defense. So 24 by 7 monitoring needs to be there, blocking of any kind of threats. If there is any malicious activity happen, your tool or your runtime protection should notify you that this happened, that happened. It will be like a security guard which will notify us that hey, someone is at your door, which is not known. So you will be able to tackle upfront, like before the certain activity happened, you'll be aware of that, and you will check how much cost you it will how much it can cost if something goes wrong. So you can leverage web application firewalls, that will be like a gatekeeper for your APIs, filter all kind of malicious requests, protect, uh, define what kind of policies you are looking for. Rate limiting is another aspect, so control the flow of your traffic of your APIs, prevent them before being overwhelmed by malicious bots or some kind of automated attacks. Of course, AI is in the market, so I can, being a like I'm an ethical hacker, or I'm being a hacker, I can develop any kind of script, right? I need not to have, like, I need not to be like a big coder or something. I can just leverage these AI tools to develop any kind of malicious script which could be injected in your system. So like market is growing really fast, and we need to be really fast to protect our environment, protect our system, our organization. Then we can do behavior analysis. So you need to check how your APIs, how your users, if there is any deviation, they are behaving. So if there is any suspicious activity, your tool needs to identify that and notify you accordingly. Then anomaly detection, as I mentioned, AI driven, the world is going towards AI. So we as a protector, we can leverage the power of AI to identify, to respond to complex threats in real time, adapting like evolving attack patterns. So being using AI, attackers can be smart enough, so just to walk one step ahead from them, we can also leverage these AI driven anomaly detection to check what could be wrong, what could happen, where we are lacking behind, what threats could be there, identified through these tools. And then empowering developers. So I think this is the field where I worked most of my in my experience. Shift left theory, shift left security, building security, making aware, spreading awareness, making developers more powerful, empower them with the like coding practices, best if they know that yes, this is the thing which we can already start, embedding into, when suppose if I give you an example, if they are writing some kind of SQL query, and they are aware of that they need to use prepared statement or or parameterized query, then they will start using that. They will know that hey, this is not a best practice. If they have an input field, what they need to do, they need to sanitize, they need to use escaping, etc. So we need to educate them upfront, and we need to tell them that these are the things you need to be careful to start security from scratch, to start the security from the very first step. From the very first step, when I say, it's like when you have the mindset of developing something, so in the planning phase itself, they will know what they need to do from security point of view. They just can't write the code, and in the development phase they say hey, we were not aware of. So if you follow the shift left security, I think that will be really helpful for developers to leverage these checklists, these secure coding practices, and many others. So these will be helpful for you to build security foundation. So as I mentioned, think like a hacker before you code. So security becomes a guide, not a gate. When I say this, so it's just when you don't know what you are trying to build, and you are just simply writing the code, it is a possibility that later there will be thousands of vulnerabilities, risk identified in the later stages of development lifecycle. When you know upfront during your planning phase that this is your application, these are the APIs which you are going to leverage, you are going to provide to the outside world, maybe you are going to consume within your application from the front end to back end, or in some functionality, or you are going to consume from any other application. So these are the flow you need to understand, how you are going to consume, what are the users, how privileged they are, what kind of information we are giving in these APIs. So you need to think from the upfront. And I think threat modeling is one aspect which can really help you in identifying threats at the very first age. And then automated checks, you can have the SaaS tooling, you can have DAST, you can have runtime security protection. These are the things which can also help you to architect security, to move towards shift left, like building security from the very first stage. So these are like areas where I would say you need to think one step ahead from the hackers. Then goes secure your APIs. And I think, as I mentioned, API discovery is like know your attack surfaces. When you are not knowing, when you are not documenting anything, it would be really difficult to understand where we are having these vulnerabilities coming from. So to understand where the risk is, you need to have the documentation properly, reporting properly, governance properly, and then you need to have the roadmap to address these OWASP top 10, because these are already available. We are aware of broken authentication, broken access control, rate limiting. We know where DOS can happen. So why not putting efforts to protect our system, to protect our APIs from now? Developers, they are the people who are developing, and you are the person who are protecting. So just collaborate, do the shared responsibility. You cannot secure independently. It's everyone's job, and I think it could only be done when everyone is responsible for security, and they know what they are developing, they know what they are writing code, or maybe if they are network people, they are understanding what the policy they are developing. So it's everyone's job, and only then, when they have the secure mindset, then only they can develop the secure system. So I would say, as a organization and as a for your financial aspect, you need to understand where you are investing. Do you have right tools? Do you have automated tools in place? Do you have proper training, awareness, and expertise? With that, I would say, if you know more about API security, feel free to read my blogs on Medium. I have tried to describe them step by step, from discovery to runtime protection to monitoring, how you can leverage AI. Even I tried to cover in one of my articles how DORA can impact API security, or how these compliance, these regulations are. Like how impactful, what kind of impact they are having on the security. And in my latest article, I tried to explain like how you can think like a hacker, what questions you can ask yourself before developing the APIs. If you have developed APIs, how you can consume it, how other parties can consume it. And in the next article, I will try to summarize the supply chain considering the API security. So yeah, feel free to contact me, and thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, secure your system, and thank you.